The gentle breeze carried the scent of blooming flowers in the deer park where the Buddha began teaching his disciples. He stood beneath the shade of a Bodhi tree, his presence calm yet commanding. "Today, I shall speak of compassion," he announced to the gathered monks. Their eyes filled with anticipation. Compassion is not merely an emotion but a profound understanding of our interconnected existence. He began, his voice steady and clear. When one being suffers, the ripples of their pain reach all corners of existence, he explained with serene authority. To convey his lesson, the Buddha recounted an episode from his wanderings before enlightenment. "Once, while traveling through a dense forest, I heard a faint cry coming from a thorny bush," he started. His disciples leaned in closer, captivated by his words, the forest around them quiet in reverence. "I toil each day, leaving no time for my spirit to find rest. My body grows weary, my mind restless, and my heart heavy. What should I do to regain my balance?" "Teacher?" The Buddha listened attentively, his silence encouraging Kashava to continue, releasing the depths of his turmoil without hesitation. "Kashava, your toil is like a flame, burning brightly yet consuming the oil that sustains its glow," Buddha said softly. "Without care, the flame will falter and extinguish, leaving darkness behind. To preserve balance, nurture both effort and stillness." That small act of care for the fawn was an act of compassion, free from any selfish motive, he emphasized. "It taught me that compassion transcends species, identities, and boundaries, uniting all beings in their shared experiences," he shared. "Just as the river nourishes without discrimination, so too must we cultivate unconditional compassion," he explained with a faint smile. The fawn limped away eventually, but its freedom also liberated a part of me, he confessed, his tone filled with quiet conviction. The monks listened in silence, absorbing the depth of his teachings. Their hearts stirred. Compassion begins in simple moments, often overlooked but infinitely powerful in their impact, he explained, his eyes calm yet piercing. "Through compassion, we dissolve the illusion of separateness, recognizing that our joys and sorrows are inherently linked," he elaborated. "By aiding others, we also heal ourselves, mending the fractures of our own suffering," he said, his words resonating deeply. The Buddha then posed a question to his disciples, his gaze sweeping across their attentive faces. "When you see suffering, do you turn away, or do you confront it with courage and compassion?" he asked. "True compassion requires us to act, not merely to sympathize, for action transforms intention into tangible relief," he instructed. "Like the sun that shines without asking who deserves its warmth, let your compassion radiate without judgment," he urged. The Buddha then shared another anecdote, this time involving a village in famine, where he witnessed profound suffering. Food was scarce, and even a single grain of rice became a treasure beyond measure, he described somberly. "Despite their own hunger, a poor family shared their last meal with me, their eyes reflecting immense compassion," he recalled. "Their act reminded me that even in scarcity, generosity and compassion illuminate the darkest of times," he explained. "Compassion requires sacrifice, but its rewards surpass any material possession," he continued, his voice steady and deliberate. "Compassion is the foundation of the Eightfold Path, guiding us toward right action and harmonious existence," he said, linking his teachings. "It aligns us with the universal truth that no being exists in isolation, for all are intricately connected," he explained. "A heart devoid of compassion is a barren land, incapable of nurturing growth or sustaining life," he emphasized. "But a heart brimming with compassion becomes a fertile ground for love, wisdom, and enlightenment," he concluded. The Buddha then led his disciples into a meditative state, encouraging them to reflect on the day's teachings. Close your eyes and envision the world as a web, where every strand connects and supports the whole, he guided. Feel the suffering of others as your own, and let the impulse to alleviate it arise naturally within you, he instructed. Each thought, word, and deed rooted in compassion strengthens the web, promoting harmony and understanding, he explained, as the meditation ended. The monks opened their eyes, a newfound resolve evident in their expressions. Today, you have planted the seeds of compassion in your hearts. Nurture them through mindful actions and thoughts, he urged. Let these seeds grow into towering trees that provide shade and comfort to all who seek refuge. He inspired. Samitra, balance flows through generosity, much like water shared freely from a fountain that nourishes all who gather around it. Samitra bowed deeply, his heart lighter with newfound resolve to share his wealth and treasure moments with his loved ones. The monks bowed deeply, their hearts filled with gratitude and determination to embody compassion in their lives. The deer park returned to its serene state, the teachings of compassion echoing silently within its tranquil embrace. Another day unfolded in the bustling streets of Rajagriha, where suffering and hardship echoed through every corner. The Buddha arrived, his serene presence contrasting with the chaos of the city. A merchant approached him, his face weary and troubled, seeking solace and guidance. "Master, I see endless suffering, but my efforts to alleviate it feel insignificant," the merchant confessed. The Buddha led the merchant to the banks of the Ganges, its waters flowing gently under the golden sun. "Observe the river," the Buddha began, his voice calm and reflective. "It nurtures all indiscriminately, offering its life-giving essence without expectation or measure." The merchant gazed at the river, its ceaseless flow resonating deeply within him. Compassion should be like this river, flowing freely and nourishing all beings it encounters, the Buddha explained with a soft smile. The merchant, still troubled, asked, "But how can my small acts matter in a world filled with vast suffering?" The Buddha plucked a single lotus petal and released it onto the river's surface. "Even the smallest act of kindness creates ripples that touch and transform the lives of many," he answered. The merchant watched the petal drift, its gentle movement amplifying the Buddha's wisdom. To illuminate his teachings, the Buddha shared the story of a potter who lived on the outskirts of the city. This potter, though impoverished, donated his last clay pot to store water for weary travelers, the Buddha recounted. "Samitra, share your riches generously, like water flowing freely from a fountain that nourishes all who gather around it. Recognize that true wealth lies in moments shared with loved ones, unhindered by attachments to material possessions," the Buddha advised. Samitra bowed deeply, his heart lighter as he resolved to cherish his family and share his wealth to bring joy. The disciples listened intently, reflecting on their own attachments and recognizing the importance of practicing gratitude and generosity. The Buddha paused, his gaze steady and profound. "Compassion is the recognition of our shared humanity, the understanding that our lives are intertwined and interdependent," he said. "It is the courage to act selflessly for the benefit of others, regardless of their stature or identity," he continued. The Buddha guided the merchant back to the bustling city, where suffering persisted openly. Compassion is not confined to grand gestures. It thrives in the simplicity of everyday actions, he said. "Feed a hungry child, comfort a grieving widow, offer shelter to a weary traveler," he enumerated. Each act, rooted in pure intention, contributes to the tapestry of universal harmony, he explained. He then recounted another story, this time about a widow who had lost everything in a devastating fire. She had nothing left but the clothes she wore and her unwavering spirit, he began. Yet, she offered her only blanket to a shivering stranger. Embracing compassion in her darkest hour, he shared. Through her act, She exemplified the boundless strength of compassion in times of adversity, he reflected. The merchant, deeply moved, vowed to embody compassion in his life and deeds, embracing its transformative power. Master, I shall let my compassion flow like the river, nourishing all beings without discrimination, he declared. The Buddha nodded, his gaze filled with quiet satisfaction. Remember, compassion transcends material wealth and worldly power, for it is rooted in the infinite depth of the heart, he advised. The day drew to a close as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting hues of orange and pink across the sky. He shared the tale of a gardener who sought to grow the perfect rose, dedicating her days to meticulous care. Though the roses bloomed beautifully, she overlooked the simple joy of their fragrance, exhausting herself with unattainable ideals of perfection. The merchant walked away, his heart lighter and his resolve stronger, determined to transform his world through acts of kindness. The Buddha's wisdom remained a beacon of hope and enlightenment for those seeking solace and understanding in a troubled world. Amala wiped her tears, vowing to embrace imperfection and seek fulfillment in the journey rather than the destination. The disciples bowed deeply, committing themselves to the practices of generosity, acceptance, and gratitude. Guided by the Buddha's timeless wisdom, his disciples gathered, their faces etched with sorrow, for they sensed his time on earth was nearing its end. The morning light danced through the leaves, casting gentle patterns on the ground. As the Buddha began to speak, "Today, I shall share the ultimate purpose of compassion," he announced, his voice soft yet resolute. Compassion transforms not just the receiver but also the giver, creating a cycle of healing and understanding, he explained. The disciples listened intently, their hearts aching with both grief and reverence for their beloved teacher. This transformation elevates our existence, connecting us to the greater truth of unity and interdependence, he continued. Let me recount a story of Angulimala, a man whose heart was changed through compassion, he said, pausing to let his words settle. Angulimala was once a feared bandit, known for his acts of violence and relentless hatred, the Buddha began. He had terrorized countless villages, leaving a trail of despair and suffering in his wake, he described solemnly. One day, I crossed paths with him while walking through a dense forest, he continued, his tone reflective, though warned of the danger. I felt no fear, only an immense compassion for the torment within his heart, he shared. As I approached, Angulimala confronted me, demanding that I stop and face him, the Buddha recounted. I paused and looked into his eyes, seeing not a bandit but a man consumed by his own suffering, he said. With calm resolve, I addressed him, my voice steady yet filled with kindness, he continued. Do not cling to what has passed or fear what is to come. Trust in the renewal change brings. Amala bowed deeply, her heart lightened by the Buddha's wisdom, resolving to embrace impermanence and live each moment fully. I remained still, my compassion unwavering, offering him a path away from his pain and hatred, he explained. In that moment, the weight of his deeds and the depth of his suffering became clear to him, he described. Angulimala fell to his knees, his eyes brimming with tears. As he pleaded for forgiveness and guidance, he recounted, I extended my hand, lifting him from the ground, and welcomed him as a disciple on the path of enlightenment, he shared. Yet he grew frustrated with each imperfection, discarding countless warps, and his loved ones grew distant from his relentless pursuit. One day, a simple child admired a cracked vase, seeing its unique beauty, and taught Vishram to cherish imperfection's lessons. This transformation is the power of compassion, capable of redeeming even the most lost and tormented souls, he emphasized. The disciples sat in awe, their hearts swelling with the profound truth of the Buddha's words and experiences. Compassion has no limits. no boundaries. It transcends all barriers to unite us in our shared humanity, the Buddha explained. It turns anger into forgiveness, fear into trust, and suffering into peace, he continued. This alchemical process enriches the soul, fostering growth, wisdom, and enlightenment, he said. The Buddha shifted his gaze to the sala trees, their blossoms gently swaying in the breeze. As he continued, even in my final days, compassion is the force that sustains me, guiding me toward the ultimate liberation, he revealed. Remember, compassion is not merely a virtue but the essence of our existence. Our connection to the universal truth, he declared. Let it be the foundation of your thoughts, words, and actions, transforming the world one act at a time, he urged. The disciples bowed deeply, their sorrow tempered by the wisdom and strength imparted by their teacher. Hari, like the river, let your experiences shape you, finding peace in life's flow and purpose in its transitions. The elderly man bowed respectfully, his eyes shining with newfound peace and a deeper understanding of life's impermanent beauty. The disciples gathered in quiet reflection, the Buddha's words echoing in their hearts as the night deepened and the grove stilled. The Buddha's teachings illuminated their spirits, like the moonlight casting gentle radiance over the grove, guiding them on their journeys. Be a beacon of compassion, radiating love and understanding, and you shall fulfill the purpose of your existence, he advised. Through compassion, you shall transcend the cycle of suffering, achieving the ultimate freedom and unity with all beings, he concluded. Another day, another teaching, as the Buddha and his disciples gathered along the tranquil banks of the Ganges River. The sun dipped low on the horizon, casting a golden glow that danced upon the rippling waters. The Buddha lay peacefully, his breath slowing, his face serene as he prepared to enter parinirvana. Carry my teachings within you, and let compassion guide you toward enlightenment and liberation, he whispered softly. His disciples waited, their eyes filled with anticipation, sensing the depth of the teaching about to unfold. At last, the Buddha turned to them, his serene face radiating compassion and wisdom. Brothers and sisters, this river holds a lesson that flows beyond the realm of gold and silver, he began. Wealth, like this water, must serve its purpose without becoming an attachment or a source of suffering. His voice was calm yet carried the weight of ancient truth, resonating deeply with all who heard. A young disciple named Sudatta stepped forward, his expression both curious and troubled. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.